Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this second episode of Season 2 of Veiled Mysteries. Tonight, Taylor and I are looking into the peculiar case which has now become viral online called the Miami Mall Incident. On New Year's Day in 2024, a large police presence was reported at the Bayside Marketplace, an outdoor shopping location located in downtown Miami, for what was thought to be a public disturbance. Many of those in the area thought that the mall had been experiencing an active shooter situation. With not much to go off of, the internet took over. Several grainy and odd videos began circulating the internet with claims that 10-foot-tall aliens or shadow figures had appeared by the mall. For many hours following the incident, the Miami-Dade authorities were tight-lipped regarding the incident, later releasing press statements stating that the incident involved several hundred youth, creating a public disturbance in the area around the mall. What happened? What caused this conspiracy to go out of control, and how was it solidified as one of the greatest Florida conspiracies of all time? We have Veiled Mysteries chief correspondent and legal analyst Taylor Edwards to break down this Florida oddity live in studio. This episode may not be suitable for younger audiences. As always, viewer discretion is advised. Episode 2 of Veiled Mysteries begins right now.
The following program contains conspiracies and true crime from around the state of Florida that may not be suitable for all audiences. All personal opinions featured in this episode should not be taken as factual evidence. As always, viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Veiled Mysteries. I'm here live with Taylor Edwards, Veiled Mysteries chief correspondent and legal analyst, to break down this odd Florida conspiracy today. Hello, Taylor. Thank you for joining us on the episode today.
Hi, Brandon. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to look into this and kind of get into some weird, crazy conspiracies.
I really have a feeling that we're going to go off on a tangent here, and I'm fully ready for that, and I'm excited for that. As always, we do have our phone line open. I'm just making sure that it's on now, because we want to hear your thoughts on this, but we can kind of talk about the incident itself. I have a feeling we're going to go on a tangent about aliens, which is great, and that's fine, and that's what we're here for. So, in general, the whole conspiracy is around the Bayside Mall in Miami. There were multiple 911 calls. Do you have record of how many, Taylor, there were?
No, but I can look at it.
It was an interesting amount of calls, like several dozen calls, regarding a disturbance at the Bayside Mall. And we do have a picture. There's very bad video. I tried to find a video for the show, but all of the videos are very, very poor. But we do have this picture. This is just the corner of the Bayside Mall and the police presence there. I think it was something over. Let me check our audio here. Something about Taylor. Go ahead and test your mic for us.
I'm still checking to see. I think my mic may be off.
I see that your mic's
And
on.
alternatives. Yeah, Mia said mine is off.
Interesting. Let's see here. Well, while I'm fixing that, if you want to touch a little bit on that, I have that picture of the police presence up here.
I can't touch on it if my mic is off.
Good point. Good point. Bear with us, everybody. I don't know why it says that it's off. That's interesting. Go ahead and talk really quick.
Okay, we're gonna test it out now.
Oh, it says that you're on, which is weird.
See.
What's happening?
Nope, Mia said it's still the same.
That's crazy.
Okay. Did I bump something on this?
I don't think so.
Perhaps.
Let's see if I can.
Okay, she's typing real quick.
Why it says it's not going. Because this is going here.
I've literally been singing into it all night, so
And I've been listening to you.
that's what's crazy.
So I'm so confused what's going on here. We'll be right back in just a moment. Bear with us for just 1 second.
Let your love be full of passers-by.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome back.
Okay, you should be there now. I'm confused why it wasn't working.
Okay, I'm testing with one of our sources to see if it's
That was very odd.
good or not. Yeah, crazy. I've literally been having my Miley Cyrus on stage.
Yeah, you were having quite a moment there.
Yeah, so that's maybe it's because it knew I was singing and needed it to be an empty room.
Who knows?
That's crazy. Okay, she's responding. So we're just trying to see if the mic is working. Okay. If it's good or not. Oh.
Okay, it sounds like you're working from
Now we
what I
can't
can
hear
see.
anyone, is what Mia says.
Oh, really good.
Wait, what?
Did she mute herself? Because I can hear us.
If the mic is working. Yeah.
We're fine. Mia, check your TV. We're fine. I think we're being punked.
Man, I can't wait to watch this back. Okay, well, I can hear me on my computer, Brandon can hear him on his.
We're fine.
So I don't know.
We're being punked.
The aliens did it.
The aliens, we're being infiltrated by the Epsteins and the aliens. I needed a fan, sorry. I don't know if you can hear that. So where were we? Thank you everyone for bearing with us for a moment. Where
She
were
said
we
it's
at?
good now, at least on her end.
Okay,
so,
good. I'm glad it's working just for Mia. Anyways, thank you for bearing with us. It's been a day, guys. We've been putting this episode together a little bit here and there today, and it's just an odd story, and unfortunately, is a story that dead ends. Like, I really like when our stories kind of leave a little bit of a cliffhanger. People can kind of make their own thoughts about things, but this is truly a dead end story.
This is really just a...
So we're pretty
Don't
much...
believe everything you see and hear on the internet.
Correct. So we're going to just kind of talk about it, and then we're going to probably go off on a tangent about aliens. So where was I with explaining this story?
You were asking if I knew how many 911 callers. Sorry, real quick. Our source that was talking about the microphones just said she lowered her volume. So
Excellent.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Good.
I think estimated, I mean, there's not an exact number of how many 911 calls, but probably around 20 to 50 minimum in a very short time frame.
Okay. And there were pretty much just calls about a area disturbance around the mall, which then locals in the area, there was speculation that it might have been an active shooter situation. And then it kind of turned into a juvenile disturbance. And then for some reason, there was all this video online from helicopters, which I have a screen grab of. This is the video we're talking about. The video itself, very grainy. Try, if you're interested in looking at the actual video, see if you can find it on X, see if you can find it somewhere. It's not really publicly available, which is kind of odd. The video, you can't really see anything at all, but the pictures themselves are very interesting. So I do have a picture here of, this is also very grainy.
I have many thoughts about,
but the circled individual is apparently what the subject of these videos are. The thing I find odd about this story is the police presence. Obviously, people are continually calling 911. So I guess that kind of builds up police presence as people keep calling.
Well, and I will say, because we kind of talked about this earlier, Brandon, part of the reason why people thought it was so much more than just like a teenage disturbance was because of the amount of police presence. However, it is an open air mall, not completely like closed, but also not completely open. So with that being said, if there are multiple 911 calls stating that it's a possibility of a shooting, teenagers fighting, they're not going to send just like 5 police cars, especially with it being such a large mall and such a large populated touristy area. It's just not feasible. So that's why there was such a large presence, because they were trying to contain and take care of the situation as fast and efficiently as possible. So if you're looking on the outside and you have no idea what's going on, yeah, that is a lot of police cars in an area. For what reason? But if you break it down and actually think about what it was and what the calls were about, then it does make sense.
Yeah, I just find it interesting. Also, there's just this grainy footage. There's no footage actually of the incident from the inside. And then there's all those weird people. It got really big on TikTok, from what I was looking at. And there's several people saying that they were there, but there's no video of the actual disturbance. And especially if it was just kids fighting, you would think there's some sort of video, there's something, but no one really has anything. So I find that odd in this story. You even look at active shooter situations. We're going to be looking at the Parkland school shooting next week. There's so much documentation of that. That really was like broadcasted online, unfortunately. A lot of that was posted by students through Snapchat and on X. So it's odd that something like a massive event like this with such a large police presence has such little documentation. And I think that's why there's a lot of draw to this whole conspiracy and this whole event. Even if it wasn't something like that crazy, I think that's why there's a lot of draw to it. So we do have our phone line open. It's 407-807-801-7204. You can see it scrolling at the bottom of your screen there. Just text us your first name and where you're from, and we'd love to have you on
Yeah, even if it
discuss
has
this.
absolutely nothing to do with the Miami incident, we already kind of know it's just going to take a turn into aliens
Yes.
and the extraterrestrial. So don't be discouraged if you have nothing to contribute or know nothing about the Miami Mall incident. Honestly, this just feels kind of like a segue into what is an alien? Do they exist? So don't be discouraged by that. Give us your thoughts on the aliens.
Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts on the aliens. Again, that is 407-801-7204. Let's open her up here.
That phone vibrating? Oh, are you turning it on?
It is on. That's my personal
Oh,
device.
okay.
My personal device.
Wild. Yeah, I could hear mine on my secondary makeshift desk over here, so I had to throw her on the floor. Not to call out our studio.
Oh my.
Let's see.
We getting any comments? We have a couple people watching, so
No comments.
people.
I'm checking all my normal sources. So I kind of talked about my thoughts on aliens. Sure, I think they can exist. I don't have an issue with that or with them. But I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like a, hey, like they're there. I don't know. I think it's a lot larger than some people make it out to be, which, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a lot of interesting facts on it. I'm just not very well educated, I think, is the thing. So that's kind of where my, like, stopping point is I'm just not as educated.
Let's see if we can get a caller in here. Cold call, sorry.
Oh, you're calling someone?
Oh, yeah. We got a text, so I'm just going to call.
Oh, wait, who was the text from?
Hello?
Hi. Thank you for calling into Veiled Mysteries. How are you today?
Oh, just thriving.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on these happenings?
I find it very suspicious that there is no photo documentation in this day and age by anyone. It's giving hantavirus cruise ship to me a little bit.
I can't hear it in mine.
Hold on.
Is it Mia?
Yes.
Hold on, Mia. I can't hear you. No, you're the problem.
Oh, man.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, good,
Okay,
good,
go
good.
ahead. It's giving what? What is it giving here? Tell me.
Okay, so it's giving the hantavirus cruise ship situation where there's like one person in a room by themselves and no other documentation on the situation.
Hold on, Mia. It's my cord.
Are you good?
No.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Hold on, Mia. This is so funny.
It's literally the aliens. Can you hear now?
The aliens don't want us to talk about them.
It worked when you held this a certain way.
That's crazy.
Well, but that's not my cord. Go when you're unplugging.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh, good. This is awesome.
The aliens really. They said she doesn't fully believe in us. She's out. She's not a part of the team.
Maybe if I take my foil hat off, the connection will...
Okay, when you unplugged yours, I could hear her a little better.
How about now? Perfect.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Good. Can you hear her still?
Mia, can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. We
There
got you.
go. All right, wow.
Man, the aliens really don't want me to talk.
No, it's
No, they
me. Don't you
don't.
worry. They don't want me here. Go ahead. What's it
Yeah,
giving?
they said no. I hear like a vacuum. What is happening? Am I that close
It's
to
my
the computer?
fan, Mia.
It's Brandon's. Okay, so what are your thoughts, Mia?
Yeah, very suspicious that in this day and age there's no video evidence, especially in a mall of all places.
Yeah, I agree. I think that
Sorry, there's a
they're
delay. So the vacuum thing just came on my TV. Anyway, um, yeah, I don't know. I find it very suspicious. The 15 billion cop cars outside, still suspicious. Completely understand Taylor's explanation of that. But yeah, I find it very weird that there's like no documentation about this thing. So it's very easy to blame on the aliens. I think they're offended.
well, you see, I get it, but also these 8 to 10 foot figures that they say are aliens just really are not. Listen, there's nothing there. Like I said, I believe they're there. I don't believe they're in Miami. I don't believe they got confused on their way to Antarctica.
Well, that was an interesting point. Hold on, my microphone's off.
So, Mia, the theory was that the aliens were on their way to Antarctica and got the coordinates backwards and ended up in Miami. That was one
Work.
theory. Which, if you do
So their
take
GPS was off.
if you do take the coordinates that they were going to in Antarctica and you turn them around, it does take you to Miami.
Oh, whoever was driving the saucer really got it wrong.
That would
what
be
you're
me.
saying.
Well,
like the Google Maps just wasn't mapping for them.
Yeah.
yeah.
They wanted to go where it was
But they
warm
were like,
and sunny.
Hey, the beach is right here.
Yeah, they
let's
didn't
go.
want to go to the ice.
Yeah, they were like, why go to Antarctica when we have the beach?
Yeah, so I just
when we
feel
have
like
Miami.
that's where it's just kind of we get too crazy with it. You know what I mean? Like I can understand maybe someone saw some aliens, maybe yeah. Also, who's to say they're 8 to 10 feet tall? We don't have
Correct.
some short tiny Tims there? I don't believe it.
Not the Tiny Tims.
But yeah, that circled spot right here is supposedly an alien. What are your thoughts? You think that's him?
You think that's him?
I mean, I don't know.
That's where it all
How
stemmed
tall
from.
was
Is
this, how
eight
tall was this thing that
eight
people
to
said,
10
this person?
feet,
8 to 10 feet.
and they only
Yeah.
saw the shadow.
They only saw a shadow?
Yes, 8 to 10 foot shadow,
Oh.
and they said it's them. They've arrived.
Well,
Yeah. I
Mia,
think
do you
it's, like,
believe in
calling
aliens?
bluff.
Oh, she believes in aliens.
Do I believe in aliens?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Fourth kind will never watch it again.
When you think of aliens, what do you picture?
I don't know. That's a good thing. A good question. It's definitely not like a Paul situation. I don't believe. I feel like that's very offensive. Green, so tall, big head. That's rude. I think they could be like shapeshifters. I think they could look really weird. I don't know. I guess like maybe like a tall, elongated humanoid figure, but is also possibly like adaptable to like blend in. But there would be like some type of feature that's like off. Or maybe even like the way they socialize, or like just like some kind of characteristic would be off.
Okay. Do you think they look humanoid, or do you think they're like completely like different looking species?
I think they have a humanoid figure as far as like arms, legs, head, eyes, mouth kind of thing. I don't know if there's a tail involved. Who's to say? But yeah, I definitely don't think they look like so weird that it's like that different.
Okay. So, okay.
Because like
now
there's like been. Go ahead.
Here's the loaded question. Do you think that they're already on or have been to Earth?
Oof. That's what I was going to kind of touch on. I think that they have been here because, again, can't like completely fact check it. Can't completely fact check, but hieroglyphics that have had, other, alluding to the fact of aliens, or people that have come from the sky type of thing, or I don't know if it was Egyptian or Mayan or possibly both. I don't know. I've seen things like that where like ruins. So that kind of thing. I feel like it's kind of like the supernatural or like ghosts or anything, where it's just like, how have these legends survived for so long, or like these like myths that have survived for so long, that either there's some kind of truth to it, or humans in general just love and are curious about mystery. That's just kind of where it comes from.
So do you think like Area 51 is like a gimmick or real?
Ooh, I kind of think it's real.
Okay, yeah, because in my mind, go ahead.
Because one of the biggest things that led me on that trail is I don't remember what it aired on, if it was like PBS or I don't know, something, a smaller network. It was like a mermaids documentary, and like they were like, oh, we like found a real mermaid, and then like they interviewed like the people that like worked in the facility, and they were like, yeah, no, like it was a real mermaid kind of thing. And there's like, hasn't Obama been like caught like being funny about aliens being real, and then he's had to come out and be like, no, like those were all jokes, like I can't confirm or deny that aliens.
Yeah, there's been a few of like big hitters that have had to do that and like redact what they said.
Mm-hmm.
See, in my mind,
yeah,
the aliens are real, but strictly at Area 51. They're not wandering around the Miami Mall. They don't need a shot.
They tried to. They tried.
You don't think they... Well, Taylor, I'll direct it to you. Do you think they are coexisting with us?
No.
Okay.
Unless they have a really good makeup artist, no. I mean, come on. Like, we looked at videos today, and it's all like the stereotypical when you think alien. Not E.T. alien. Just like alien with the big eyes and like the creepy skin, like, and the creepy like string bean figure alien. That how, like, I don't know, how is that existing among us? Please tell me. Are they walking into the Walt Disney World Epcot Center? All right, like, I mean, come on.
Maybe they're the ones biofailing all the time.
Come on here, come on. This is just crazy to me.
Biofail.
This is just wild. Like, I don't know. Is it one of those things like they only come out at night? Like, it's just crazy. No, I don't think they are.
Wait, you might be onto something though. What if all the old people that biofail are the aliens?
I'm screaming.
I'm really having to
I think we're onto something. Anyway, sidetracked.
Anytime I get one now, I'm
gonna. It kind of makes me want to watch the movie The Fourth Kind again, because it was in that era of movies where everyone was like scared of like what could be real. So like real footage, right? Like Paranormal Activity. The one who started it all, Blair Witch Project. You know what I mean? Where it's just like it's advertised as this is real. Well, it was the first movie I'd seen of its kind, LOL, where it was like a side-by-side comparison of the quote-unquote real footage versus what they filmed like for the movie. The only notable actor that I remember is, actress, is the one from Resident Evil. I don't know her name specifically, but I know she was like, I think the mom in it. But anyway, it scared the crap out of me. I mean, I was like in, I don't know, like early mid-teens, and it was like one of those movies where like I literally like seized up and never wanted to watch that movie again. But from the pure curiosity of what Taylor was saying about like, what are they supposed to look like? I'm kind of curious of what about that version of aliens in that movie scared me so bad into believing that it's a possibility.
Yeah. I don't know. I also feel like, especially like aliens, mermaids, like things like mythical, we have taken it so far from what is or could be real and just like built on and on and on to the point that it's unbelievable. And not unbelievable in a sense of like, oh, I can't imagine like living like this. It's like there's like that's not it. Like there's no way. Like you're joking kind of thing. Like So I think that's part of the issue, and especially now, in a time where we can pretty much go online and say, make me a video of this, and put a 10-foot alien in this area, and I want a line of cars on the freeway stopped and filming, and we can get a pretty accurate video made. So I think we're now in a world where there is no proving what is and is not true, because we can make pretty much anything online now. Whereas earlier, like before, if someone came to you with a video of an alien or went to a news source, that's pretty real. Like we didn't have access or technology like we did back then.
So are you almost insinuating that it could be AI, this video? Or do you think it was manipulated?
I think it's manipulated.
Okay.
This one specifically, I think it's manipulated. It's too grainy. If that supposedly is the only footage and it's from a police helicopter, their footage cannot be that like it's not that grainy.
Yeah.
Their videos are
Was
meant
there
to be
any,
clear
like,
for a reason.
Small news outlet, like Miami local outlet that covered it?
Yes, there were a couple Miami outlets that did cover the story. And from what I could gather, they also were like speculating about like extraterrestrial life, but their main reporting source was what was coming from the police. And they said that it was a juvenile disturbance at the mall.
And they did have the Miami police come on and like dispel those arguments of it being aliens. But it didn't sound like a dispelment of, oh no, like we're hiding something. It was more so no, that's just not simply it. And like they gave hard facts of this is why so many were there. This is what happened. And we watched a video today kind of going over this, and one of the sources that this particular guy used to prove that it was aliens was a video of someone who said he was there. And then a few months later, they showed another video, and he was like, no, I've never been to Miami. Y'all stay safe. So it's like people hop on to become famous and like to blow up. And if you can say, like, I could have told Brandon when he came to me and said, I want to do an episode on this, I could have been like, oh my God, I was in Miami on New Year's Day, 2024. I was there. I ran. We know I don't run for anything but the bus. I did not run. I did not run out of a mall. I was not in Miami. So it's like, if you say it with enough conviction, it's true. I don't think Miami did not happen. This is crazy. I can't believe we're even, this is insane to me. Miami, there were no aliens in Miami. That's crazy. It was a fight.
I feel like the enigma of it all in general is like just suspicious. Like the mystery of it all, like people going from kids fighting to aliens, but then there's no explanation to what any of it was, but yet there was this hysteria that was caused. I think the bigger picture is just like showing what mass hysteria can evolve into.
Oh yeah, it's mass psychosis. Like that's where we've gone. And it's because like no one had footage. So then it turned into, well, no one had footage because the police confiscated their phones to make sure there was no evidence of aliens. Like, that's where it really snowballed, is that there was one off comment made of there's no footage because they wanted to make sure there was absolutely no proof that there were aliens there. And so the police stopped everyone and confiscated their phones. That's why there was no, like, footage. Whereas if you see the videos of them running out, there's no footage because people are running out of the mall because they think they hear multiple gunshots when it's children starting fireworks at other people. So, I mean, I don't know. If there's granted, I can't say this for certain, but I can almost be for certain. If I hear gunshots near me, I'm not whipping out my phone first. I would drop my phone and run before I whipped out my phone and said, let me get a video of the killer, just in case. Like, I don't know. In my head, It's more so like people wanting to hear what they want to hear. Like they're wanting to hear, oh, there's no videos because they confiscated it, rather than, oh, there's no videos because people were running for their lives. It's just like we kind of forget the reason, like the reason that the video, like why it was called in, because we want to see something else.
So let me pose this to you, Taylor. Do you think that this was sensationalized because it was in Florida, and Florida has a reputation for being notorious for odd things happening? Do you think that helped or took away from the situation at all?
I think it definitely helped the case. I think that there's a few states that this could have happened in, and you would have gotten the same reaction. I think here, I think Arizona, I think Texas. However, if you imagine this were to have happened in Montana, I mean, granted, don't come for me. I don't know what the alien thoughts are in Montana or how big the conspiracies are out there, but like in my mind, that's not one of the major, like, this is where we've seen aliens, or these are where like the big conspiracy people are. So in my mind, I think part of it is, yeah, it's Florida, we can get away with it. Like let's see how far we can run with it. We do have a comment in the chat about, which we did kind of touch on, they may have missed it, but how we don't know that the aliens don't look like us. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they could look like us, but also, I don't know. Do they have fingerprints? Like, how do we get there? I don't know. Mia, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mia, for being on.
Thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Perfect. Have a good night, Mia. Our phone line is open if you're interested. It is 407-801-7204. Mia had some good thoughts to add there. It looks like we have a comment from Elizabeth. I might have missed this, but what caused everyone to start calling 911? And I believe it was just the general disturbance.
They thought they heard gunshots.
Yeah, they heard gunshots, and it was sort of a chaotic scene in the beginning from what I've seen here. So to Area 51 a little bit.
Well, real quick.
Okay.
Because we do have a comment in the chat that I think is kind of interesting, from Jackie or Sean saying, do you not believe in I believe it's called the Fermi paradox, which to anyone that doesn't know, that is the idea that if the universe is so huge and should contain a lot of alien life, why haven't we found any evidence of them yet? So basically, there are billions of planets, tons of galaxies, and they should theoretically exist, or they do theoretically exist, but we've never seen or heard from them, supposedly. Like, okay. How is that? However, maybe just because you haven't gotten a snail mail from them doesn't mean someone else hasn't. And maybe that's where it's been locked up, in Area 51.
So to Area 51, do you think they live there, or do you think they're being held there by the government?
Oh, I don't think they'd live there willingly and just have to stay there.
So how do you theorize that aliens got to Area 51? That means they would have had to make contact at one point, right?
I think it could have been like a situation of like an accidental touchdown, or a touchdown and they were expecting to maybe like explore, see what was there. Like maybe they were landing on a different planet and just like kind of seeing what was there and didn't expect it to be captured. I think that's a possibility, and maybe they were tested on and questioned and all of that. So, yeah, maybe they are held against their will, but I think Area 51 is where, like, a lot of the documentation is, or at least was, of the majority of what pertains to this. For sure.
Okay. in terms of Area 51, you think there's current alien life there?
No.
No.
I think initially maybe, but I don't, which I mean maybe, but I mean I don't see how we could have kept them there for so long. Because like I went to Area 51 when I was I was young when I went to Area 51 with my parents. They took me and my brother. I don't know if we were going on like a road trip somewhere else, like to California, and just so happened to stop, or if that was the trip. But we went to Area 51 when I was young. And so I don't know. I'm now 30, so even if I went when I was 10, that's 20 years. I don't see how we're still holding them captive. I mean, surely, if they were there willingly and they were, they were how or where they wanted to be, then I think that we would have made contact or it would have been more well known. I guess I'll say it that way.
Okay.
Because, which granted, we don't know. I mean, maybe they are roaming about us. Maybe I am the alien here, Brandon. I shut your mic off every night at approximately 7:58. Or not your mic, your camera. I freeze it.
There you go. Could be.
But I think that I don't think we're holding them like. I think if they are still there, it's still a holding captive situation. I don't think it's I am gladly willing to stay in this one area where I cannot leave or have people come or have to feel like they're an exhibit in a zoo.
Okay. What I have here, I'm going to see if I can blow it up a little bit. What I have here is a visual of Area 51 from space. Might be a little bit wonky here. That might be a little bit better. Area 51 from space. Why do you think we're so secretive about it?
Well, I don't think it's so secretive only because of like aliens and extraterrestrial life. It's also highly classified for the military.
Okay.
Because Area 51 is connected to like the United States Air Force. So like the portion you're showing right now, I believe, is part of the like United States Air Force. So, and it's a testing facility. So, which there was a documentary, I can't remember what it's called or what it was on in general, but that actually, it had to do with, I think, Osama bin Laden. Whenever that happened, there's a documentary out that came out recently about at Area 51 is where the military technology and the planes and the aircrafts were, and that's where they did their training because it's so
for
to
that
go
mission.
capture
Okay.
for that mission, which that's not the only reason, obviously, but that did happen there. So I think Area
we do have
50.
a call coming in.
Oh,
Let's see.
go ahead.
Hello, thank you for calling Veiled Mysteries.
Yes, this is Sean in Spring.
Hello,
Sean.
Sean.
So you don't believe the accounts, even with the stuff that the Department of Justice is starting to release, the trickle release of that. President Eisenhower supposedly met and made a treaty with the Greys, the aliens, to allow them to build bases under the earth and to work with the American scientists. Have y'all looked into that?
I've started to delve into it a little bit. I think
have some of it up right now.
Okay.
I don't think that's not true, if that makes sense. I believe that is a huge possibility, like it could have happened. But at the same time, I don't. Go Go ahead.
What about the Bob Lazar, the person that was the first whistleblower that came out that worked at he didn't work at Area 51. He worked in S4 off of Area 51, and he came out in the late 80s, and he was hired to do reverse engineering on spacecraft that they found. And he talked about that the United States had like 9 spacecraft in their possession in S4, and that he was working with a team of people to do reverse engineering on what they called the sport model ship, and that in his briefings he read about it, and they said that the ship came from Zeta Reticuli. And this is all, you can look all of this up. All of this stuff is documented. And they tried to, Bob Lazar would have never have been a whistleblower, but when he signed up to go to work for them, he gave them access to be able to bug his phones at his home and go through his mail, and that they would call him to go to work, and he would have to go to work at various hours in the night. They would call him and say, you need to be at this airport, and they were called the Janus flights, and that's what flew you into Area 51. And the Janus flights are still active today. You can look those up. They still fly in and out of Area 51. And so his wife thought he was having an affair, and so she started having an affair on him, and the government was bugging his phone, and so they basically laid him off, because if he was having problems at home, that's when somebody can't be trusted with top secret clearance if they went out of their mind. And so they were watching him, and he knew he was being followed, but it was a big deal, and they tried to discredit him. And he even described the measures where they measured the bones in your fingers in order to enter S4 as one of the security things. And they later found out in the 2000s that the government did have that type of technology, and that the element that they had from the periodic table that powered the ship, it didn't exist.
Not at that time.
And
It was element
now
115.
it does exist.
And it's
Now
it's
it exists.
moscovium.
Yes, and so we don't have it in a stable form, but there's a lot of stuff that suggests that our government is working with our government, and governments all around the nation, around the world, are working with aliens.
Well, and
That's how did we go from horse-drawn buggies just 150 years ago? We were on a telegraph machine making telegraphs, beeping noises across wires and interpreting them on the other end, to now we have fiber optic cables. We have that. Our technology has advanced so much in the last we have advanced more in the last 150 years than we have in the last 3,000 years before that.
Well,
So if there weren't aliens, where did we get that? How could we make that type of jump in technology?
I want to see what you say about this, because in particular with Lazar, one of the things that a lot of people really say destroys his credibility is that he claims to have attended both Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, as well as the California Institute of Technology, but there's no verified records of him going or graduating there.
But you also have to realize too that he worked for a company and they destroyed all of his records.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is if you thought they destroyed his records.
Yeah, they destroyed his records. And so he actually, there was a company in New Mexico that he worked for, and they destroyed all of his records that they had. And so he actually took a camera crew and went to that office building. The guard knew him, let him in with the camera crew, and they went around. They found a directory, and it had his name in the directory of people that worked there. And it was at that point that they said, yes, he did work here, but we don't have any record of it. And so that was a big thing. But pretty much everything that Bob Lazar has been saying is the government is starting to release. Even the stuff from the DOJ showing all of the images from our fighter pilots, our aircraft that's recorded, and they're showing the tic-tac objects, and they're trying to track these things that are defying everything we know about gravity, what we know about even relativity, and they're doing things that a human body couldn't withstand.
So let me ask you.
And they're releasing tons of that stuff.
So let me ask you, because for those who don't know, Sean on the phone right now is my father. So I kind of talked about whenever we went to Area 51 when I was younger. I don't remember when that was. I just remember it was when I was younger, and all I really remember are like the green alien, like inflatable things all around. So do you think at that point, or even now, we had aliens captured there?
Well, so yes, if you go and research, there's a lot of things that even President, when Eisenhower became president after Harry S. Truman, and remember, Harry S. Truman is the one that dropped the atom bomb on Japan. He dropped 2 of them on Japan. And so we had gotten that technology from the Germans. The Germans were doing all kinds of things. They were working in Antarctica. They were doing stuff in Antarctica. They had absolute crazy technology. They made the first rockets. And so when the war was over with, the Russians and the United States went into Germany, and we gathered up all the scientists. The Soviets took half of the scientists, and the United States took the other half of the scientists. And so that's how we got into the space race, is because the Germans had such advanced technology and rockets to be able to get into space. That's what started the space race. And they say that it was after we dropped the atomic bomb that's when we started seeing an overflow of sightings from that were UFOs or unidentified, what they call them, UAPs now. I believe that's what they call them. But they say that after we dropped the bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that there were 2 alien races that supposedly came and met with Eisenhower. And when Eisenhower was president, he disappeared, and that's in the White House records. He disappeared. And supposedly he went to an Air Force base and he met with two different races of aliens. One of them looked like Norwegian people. They had blonde hair, long blonde hair. They were tall and they looked like humans. And they said that if we would get rid of all of the nuclear weapons, this is supposedly, if we would get rid of all the nuclear weapons, they would teach us how to, no one would be hungry. They would teach us how to make a utopia. And then there was another alien race, the Greys, that said if we would allow them to build bases underground on U.S. soil and conduct research, that they would work with us and they would give us technology that would make us the leading superpower for the next 1,000 years. And so at that point, we didn't want to lose our capability that we had, because us and the Russians, we were the superpowers. And so allegedly they said that we took the deal with the Greys and we allowed them to start putting underground bases
For the technology.
in New Mexico and different places. Yes. So we could have the technology. And from that point, we've had a technology boom like no other. And all the way going back to, if you look at how the pyramids are, that was a superhuman race of people to be able to even build something like that. And then something happened, whether they say it was a great flood that wiped everybody out and we went back into the Stone Age, and we were basically in the Stone Age all the way up until this boom that happened in the early 1900s. And we went from basically Stone Age, printing press, small combustible engines, to all of a sudden we have rockets, we have people in space, we have total communication around the globe.
So then
That's pretty hard to think.
You don't think that we could have gotten here on our own without that pact?
No. And look at how technology is advancing right now, to where it's about to get to a point to where we're about to go to AI. And like you were saying, are aliens walking around in the mall? Are they walking around in Disney and Epcot? Look at where what is the most problematic part of the human race? It's us being biological. Our bodies having a time limit. What if we could transfer our minds, our everything in our minds and our souls into a computer that wasn't biological? Look at what AI is doing right now. AI starts to learn, how do you write letters? How do you correspond with people? It starts learning you to the point to where it could answer your letters for you. It starts knowing you. And so if you were able to put your mind in something, in a robot, then you could send a non-biological thing, and it wouldn't matter if it took 100,000 years to get there. They wouldn't need food. They wouldn't need water.
It'd
and
be
you
just
could
like a realistic
transfer
robot.
your civilization somewhere else. It's all very interesting. I think a lot more is going to come out now that Trump has told them to release all of the documents that the government has that aren't classified. I mean, that aren't, super classified, where they don't release technology and things like that to other governments. But there's been tons of information dumps, and there's a sitting congressman from Tennessee that he heads the committee for the Congress, and that guy flat out came out and said, we do have biologicals that are not from this earth, we do have recovered craft. We do have technology, and this is a congressman came out and said that, and he said that within the last couple of months. So I think the government is slowly leaking stuff and dropping stuff to prepare people for that. It doesn't add up.
There's
They've
more to the
gotten
story.
stuff from somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. It's a very interesting time to be alive, because if there is stuff like that going on and has been going on, obviously we would be dealing with. And you say, how would they be walking around? What if they're interdimensional beings? What if you can't? They operate in a totally different dimension than us. We can't see them. We have telescopes. The Hubble telescope used to look in infrared and look for heat and things like that. Our eyes can't process that. So if you ever got an infrared camera and you look through an infrared camera, you would be able to see things going on in the world that your eyes can't even see, because it's in a different light realm than what your eyes can process.
Yeah, that's
How many
true.
other things are there that our biological body can't process?
Yeah, those are interesting theories and good real life examples of what has already happened.
But it's very strange. And there's an admiral that just came forward and talked to the committee. And you're talking about this guy I believe he is a rear admiral, retired rear admiral for the Navy. That means he is the highest you can get in the Navy. And he went to the committee and told them that there are 5 places in our oceans that we do not go to, because they have underwater alien bases, and this is a rear admiral for our Navy. So, I mean, you wouldn't think that somebody would make it to rear admiral status if they were a lunatic or a nutcase.
Mm-hmm.
And he came forward and said that we have tracked things moving under the water that are as large as a football field, moving at speeds of upwards of 300 miles an hour under the water. And they've seen craft come from flying in the atmosphere and just go into the water at full speed, and it not even do anything to the water.
Yeah.
It's very strange, the stuff that's starting to come out with the release of this committee in Congress.
No, I agree, and I think it'll be good to keep up with it and see what else comes out and what else has kind of gone on under our noses.
But I do think that the people that were talking about the 10 feet people in Florida were nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that completely. We're on the same page there. But no.
But the people in the Florida Mall probably think I'm nuts.
But no, those are good.
So-
Those are good points. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thank you for calling in.
All right. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, so definitely interesting things to think about and kind of mill over. Like I said, the Miami, we kind of veered off a little bit into Area 51 and to aliens, but I was hoping to do that anyway. This story's a little bit dead end, but it definitely starts a very vivid conversation about aliens and extraterrestrial life outside of Earth. And then what other secrets our government may be hiding about that from us and in regards to that. So, of course, thank you everyone that called in today. As always, we do have our phone line open during our podcast. We'd love to hear from you. That's one of the things we love about being live, is being able to talk to you and interact with you live on the podcast.
As well as our chat.
And our chat as well. Yes,
also.
we've kind of figured out our chat from season 1. It got a little messy there, but
we got it. We figured it out.
We got it all figured out. And of course, thank you, Taylor, for being with us today, and kind of covering this topic and just going through it with me as well.
Of course, very excited. Thank you.
And thank you so much for spending a little bit of your evening here with us tonight. As you may have seen, posted on our YouTube channel, next week we'll be covering the mass shooting incident that happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida on Valentine's Day in 2018. We look forward to sharing more with you at that time on Monday at 8 p.m. Of course, here in the United States today is Memorial Day, which is commemorating all of the U.S. military personnel killed in the line of duty. We thank those fallen service members who have dedicated their lives to our freedom that we share each day. And we pray for the families that of those families that are celebrated on this day of remembrance. As for us, Veiled Mysteries is live every Monday at 8 p.m. in the East, 7 p.m. in the Mid-Region, and 6 p.m. on the West. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Veiled Mysteries Pod to stay up to date and to stay in touch. If you have a true crime case or conspiracy theory you'd like to see us cover, feel free to message me or email me at veiledmysterytips@gmail.com. As always, ask questions, stay curious, and be informed. I'm Brandon Ward. Have a good night.